Convert the rectangular coordinate here into polar coordinate. So this is a rectangular coordinate, and I need to make it look like this. Now, what we do when we're dealing with, rectangular coordinates is I know that this is going to be some point in the third quadrant, right? It's going to be some point down here somewhere, don't know exactly where, but it's going to live down there. What I need to figure out is if this is my x value, this is my x value right here, that point's going to be over here, and it's going to be x units away. That's going to be y units down there, and my job is to find some type of theta given all this information right here. Well, wait a minute. If I need to find how far away that dot is from the origin, and I know that this is kind of like a right triangle, and I know like the leg of a right triangle and the other leg of a right triangle, and I need to find the hypotenuse of a right triangle, why don't I just use Pythagorean theorem? So the way we can find r is we could just take the square root of x squared plus y squared, which is our version, our AP Precalc version of the Pythagorean theorem, where it's usually a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We just have different letters, and then I'm taking the square root right away. So r, and this is not going to be the easiest math in the world, but we'll be all right. R is going to be negative 5 times the square root of 3 over 2 squared plus the negative 5 over 2 squared in parentheses, gross. So r is going to be big square root. 5 times 5 is 23. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. So 25, not 23, stupid, times 3 is 75. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 2 is 4. 75 plus 25 is 100. 100 over 4 is 25. So r is the square root of 25, which means r is 5. Beautiful number. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, the next thing I need to figure out is that angle right there. Now, that angle right there is basically found by me taking this opposite side right here and that adjacent side and me trying to find that angle. Well, how can I find the angle using an opposite and adjacent side? Tangent. Tangent would do that. So tangent of my angle would equal y over x, opposite over adjacent, which means the inverse tangent of my angle, which was what? I don't know. I do know. The inverse tangent of my x or y over x is going to give me my theta. So the theta is going to be the inverse tangent of y over x. Okay. So theta is going to be the inverse tangent of negative 5 over 2 all over negative 5 root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2. So let's multiply the top and the bottom. Let's multiply the top and the bottom by 2 over 5 root 3. And since these become positive, I can just get rid of that. 2 over 5 root 3 so that these guys cancel out. So theta is going to equal the inverse tangent of 2's cancel out, 5's cancel out, 1 over root 3. Well, that's still no good. So let's multiply the top and the bottom by root 3 over root 3. And so theta is going to be the inverse tangent of root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is regular 3. The inverse tangent of root 3 over 3 is pi over 6. So this point in polar coordinate form is going to be 5 pi over 6. But that doesn't seem right because it's down here. So what I need to do is I need to add pi so that it spins it into the third quadrant. So if I put 6 pi over 6, that gets me 7 pi over 6. So my final answer is going to be 7 pi over 6. You kind of have to be careful because I think a lot of people would answer this as 5 pi over 6, but you have to keep in mind the inverse tangent of any number is going to have two possible answers because the period of tangent is pi. So you kind of have to have that picture in your mind that when I'm done, if I get something that appears in the first quadrant like this did, I have to add pi to it so I get the right answer that I need. And that's the answer that I need. Or another option is you can keep this as pi over 6 and make that -5 so that it kind of spins it in the opposite direction. Either way, we have to change one of them, and so that's the way that I did it. Like I said, the other option is -5 pi over 6. So, pick your poison.